Now available for the first time in paperback, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Learn all the reasons why so many black women can't find a husband and why 70% of black women are single. Get your copy of Why 70% of Black Women Are Single on Amazon.com today.
A Mississippi woman allegedly murdered her husband while having an argument with him on Facebook Live. Now, in this incident, 28-year-old Khadijah Michelle Brown of Columbus, Mississippi, was having an argument with her husband, Jerry Brown, over the fact that his kids did not have a hot meal and the fact that the home was not taken care of. Now, as this video shows Khadijah Brown arguing with her husband, Jerry Brown, Khadijah Brown allegedly pulls out a firearm as the video goes black, and over the course of the argument, a gun goes off, and Jerry Brown allegedly winds up being shot and killed as a result of this. Now, the police are seeing this whole incident that took place at this home as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of the alleged behavior Khadijah Michelle Brown participated in on that Facebook Live video, it fits the pattern and profile for feminist indoctrinated women that I talk about in my book, The Woman Crisis. And it's clear to me that Khadijah Michelle Brown was one of these feminist indoctrinated women who was completely incompatible with a man. And I talk about that in depth in the chapter in The Woman Crisis, Incompatible with Men. Now, a feminist and a woman are both born female. However, a feminist has a completely different mindset that makes her completely incompatible with men, because the feminist believes that she is just like a man and believes that she can fit into the leadership role of a man in a relationship. And this is what makes the feminist incompatible with a man in an institution that God established like marriage, because in a marriage, a woman is supposed to be a helpmeet to a man. However, a feminist is not interested in helping a man in a marriage. No, a feminist is interested in becoming a rival and a competitor to a man, and that is what makes a feminist completely incompatible for marriage. Unfortunately, Jerry Brown, who was looking more like a beta male to me, didn't understand that a feminist is incompatible with a man, and could not tell that Khadijah Brown, even though she was attractive like a female on the outside, had very masculine traits on the inside, and it was those masculine traits on the inside that made it where she was completely incompatible with him, because she not only thought that she belonged in the leadership role, but she also believed that she was better than a man, because many feminist indoctrinated women believe that they are better than a man. They believe that they belong in a higher position than a man. And oftentimes when you're dealing with a feminist indoctrinated woman, a feminist indoctrinated woman has no respect for a man whatsoever. And again, this is why a feminist indoctrinated woman is completely incompatible for a marriage, because in a marriage, a woman has to submit to the authority of a man under God's order, and she has to go out here and work with that man in a partnership, looking to basically give parts of herself to that relationship, just like he has to give parts of himself to the relationship. Unfortunately, with a feminist indoctrinated woman, she's not looking to make any sacrifices for the relationship. No, she wants all the benefits of the relationship, but she doesn't want to go out here and make any contributions whatsoever. And I believe that is the reason why Jerry Brown was deeply frustrated with Khadijah Michelle Brown. He was completely frustrated with his wife because he was basically trying to give to build this relationship, but every time he tried to give to build to this relationship, it looked like Khadijah was looking to tear everything down, and this is what was causing friction between the two, to the point where allegedly they were becoming frustrated with each other, and things were escalating to the point where the whole situation was turning into a domestic violence situation. And this is what happens when you have a man who goes out here and marries a feminist. Again, a man who marries a feminist, it's like mixing oil and water. And I talk about this at length in The Woman Crisis in the chapter, Marriage to a Feminist Always Leads to Divorce, because a marriage between a man and a feminist isn't going to work, because a marriage to a feminist is like, again, mixing oil and water. You have two units that are completely incompatible with each other, and one is going to rise to the top while the other falls to the bottom. And usually it's the feminist who rises to the top because she is enabled by a group of enablers, like we saw in the Facebook Live video, the mother continuing to egg on Khadijah Brown, or law enforcement coming in and taking the side of the woman. That's what makes many of these marriages completely deteriorate, because these women are never held accountable. And Khadijah Brown was basically enabled, I believe, for an extended period of time to feel like she could go out here and act the way that she did as related to her husband, because the only reason why she acted like this towards her husband, Jerry Brown, is because she was enabled in an environment where she was taught that she did not have to respect her husband, she did not have to respect his leadership, she did not have to respect his authority, she did not have to respect him as a man. And because she did not respect him as a man, this is why things were escalating between them, and had escalated to the point of alleged possible early domestic violence, and things just got worse over time to the point where it reached this violent climax as related to their relationship. Now, as I saw in the Facebook Live video, it looked like Jerry Brown came home to get his stuff because the relationship had fallen apart, and as he came home, he possibly saw that his children did not have a hot meal, and his children were not being taken care of. And this was possibly the issue he had with Khadijah Brown, was that she was not caring for the children up to his standard, and this possibly was the reason for the argument between Jerry Brown and Khadijah Brown, was he saw that his children were not being cared for in a way that met his standard. And as this argument went on, they went into this back and forth. And as Khadijah Brown saw herself losing the argument based on the hard evidence, what happened was she was becoming more and more upset, because feminist indoctrinated women, they don't argue on logic, they argue on feelings, and when they are held accountable, what they do is they become extremely emotional and irate. And as they become irate, what happens with them is they start to want to lash out at an individual. And as they lash out at that individual, what they do is look to go out here and try to win an argument. And how they try to win the argument, as I've seen in many cases, is they want to get the last word. But Khadijah Brown couldn't get the last word because the evidence was there. I mean, even with her own mother in the house, nothing was being done for the children. So he's looking at the whole situation and seeing that this woman is not taking care of business, and she's angry because she's been caught and just shown for what she is. And because she can't get the last word as related to this man, what she does is go and get the firearm, and as she gets the firearm, she looks to get the last word by shutting up Jerry Brown. And as she shuts up Jerry Brown permanently, this feminist indoctrinated woman gets the last word, and she gets the last word by shutting up Jerry Brown permanently as related to a relationship that he possibly should have never gotten involved with. Because many men don't understand that, yes, a feminist is attractive on the outside, but her character is what makes her unattractive on the inside. And these feminist indoctrinated women, for most cases, they oftentimes are unattractive because they'll put on a face, again, like a female chameleon, of being nice in the beginning, but once they get you in their home, they start to get nasty. And once they get nasty, many men who get married feel trapped. And many of the beta males, what they will do is sit in that situation until they wind up dying, or the wife winds up dying. And Jerry Brown, sadly, he just wound up trying to get out of this situation. But the whole thing was he came on the wrong terms. Now, a smart man would have brought law enforcement with him and said, look, well, officers, I need to go get my stuff. I need to go get my stuff out of this home. and they would have arranged for police to be there when they got their stuff, because the only way you can deal with a feminist, indoctrinated woman is to get law enforcement to be at your side, so there are witnesses there, so that when they won't start anything or escalate anything as related to a situation. Because many of these women, they love to go out here and start pulling crap tests as related to boundaries, and the thing that a man has to do is have some witnesses there so that they can see this out of control behavior. But sadly, Jerry Brown went into this situation like many beta males do, which is going in with their feelings. And as they go into a situation with their feelings, what they do is leave themselves open to a very dangerous situation, because the situation that Khadijah Brown was creating was one of the classic he said, she said situations. And in the he said, she said situation, a man is at the mercy of that woman, because everything is based on words, and oftentimes the court will go along with the woman's words. And it looked like to me on video she was looking to start this fight with Jerry Brown, and thought, oh, I'll record it on Facebook Live and make it look like he's the bad guy. But in actuality, we saw who the real bad guy was, because as the video goes on and everything even basically goes black, we see that the escalation happens, and she's the one with the loaded weapon. And if you're the one with the loaded weapon and this man is trying to leave a residence, it just shows that this was a clear case of possible second-degree murder. And this is the case that basically has happened with Khadijah Brown as related to this whole case. And again, this all happening because we have a feminist indoctrinated woman, and this feminist indoctrinated woman, she wanted to go out here and take the leadership role of a man, and now she's got to deal with the responsibility for her actions like a man, because now she's on the hook for the murder of her husband. And she's on the hook for the murder of her husband because, like many feminist indoctrinated women, she does not have respect for a man. She does not have respect for the man that she married, and she didn't see the man she married as someone she regarded. No, she didn't want to be a partner in the relationship. No, what she wanted to be was the boss over a codependent relationship, and what she wanted was a simp to sit there and put up with all of her mess, not understanding relationships are two-way streets. And this is the reason why many feminist indoctrinated women have a hard time with marriages, because marriages are two-way streets and both partners have to give and share in a relationship. But most feminists don't know how to share in a relationship. No, they want relationships to be like the baby mama and baby daddy thing, where the welfare state takes care of the woman and the man has no say in anything. And when the man starts to make statements saying that he wants certain things, that's when the feminist indoctrinated woman has a problem with the marriage. Because again, she wants it to be a one-way street where everybody just agrees with her, and that's how her world is smooth. But marriages are rough because they are give and take. They are both partners giving and taking in the relationship, both partners sharing in the relationship. But the feminist indoctrinated woman doesn't want to share anything. She wants everything given to her. And the whole thing is that she doesn't want anybody to take no mess from her. But she doesn't understand that relationships are give and take, and they are about sharing. And these women don't want to share. And when they can't, when somebody asks them for their part or their accountability, that's when these women want to lose it and want to hurt someone. And that's what I believe happened here with Khadijah Brown, is she wanted to hurt her husband because her husband just wanted her to do her equal share in the marriage and help take care of those 4 children who now no longer have a mother or a father, and sadly have nobody there to care for them except the possible grandma who's sitting in the back. And that's even worse because you're having the first generation of a woman in crisis leading the family, again, that's not theirs, leading to another generation of women in crisis, where Jerry Brown is in the grave, and his wife, Khadijah Brown, is possibly going to be in prison for the rest of her life, playing spades with Becky and Big Bertha, for trading Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light, packets of Taster's Choice coffee, 6-pack off-brand Oreo cookies, 6-pack off-brand lemon cookies, Fritos chips, Chips Ahoy cookies, and all sorts of commissary. That is the fate of Khadijah Brown because she was caught up in her feelings, allegedly as related to her deteriorating relationship with Jerry Brown. But that relationship was deteriorating all because Khadijah Brown was a feminist, indoctrinated woman, and because she had been indoctrinated into the ideology of feminism, where they believed that the woman is superior, the woman is better than the man, a woman doesn't have to respect a man. She showed no regard for the life of her husband, Jerry Brown, because she didn't see him as a person, and that's what made her completely incompatible for the marriage they were in, because she was not looking to be a helpmeet and help meet the needs of Jerry Brown's 4 children, and she could not follow the lead of Jerry Brown as related to his household. And because she couldn't meet those standards, she got frustrated and angry whenever she was challenged and held accountable. And this is what led to, sadly, this murder that took place on Facebook Live. But this whole situation took place on Facebook Live, showing us a textbook example of a woman in crisis and how destructive a relationship a man can have with a feminist, indoctrinated woman, because any relationship a man has with a feminist, indoctrinated woman is a situation where he is not going to come out possibly alive, because everything with the feminist, indoctrinated woman is all about her having power. And if you try to take her power, she may possibly take your life or try to destroy your life by putting you in jail. So that's the reason why men don't get involved with feminist, indoctrinated women, because feminist, indoctrinated women do not respect a man, do not respect a man in a marriage. And where there are feminist, indoctrinated women, a man's life is basically at stake, because he's dealing with a woman who does not see him as a head or a part of a family. She sees him as just another person that is beneath her. And if you get involved with this feminist, indoctrinated woman, you have to understand you're not getting involved with a woman. No, you're getting involved with a woman in crisis. Now, if you want to learn more about how women, feminists, the difference between feminists and women, you can pick up my book, The Woman Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And in that book, I break down the difference between a feminist and a woman, and how a feminist just differs from a woman and is just incompatible for a marriage to a man. And if you want to pick up some of my other men's issues books, like The Man Crisis, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, Stop Simping in the Workplace, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, The Manginas, The Misadventures of Captain Save-'em, and other men's issues books like Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, you can find all those books on Amazon.com as well, along with my fiction. And you can, if you want to see me make more videos about women's issues and men's issues, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers. From the author of the critically acclaimed book, The Man Crisis, comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women have become lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Get your copy of The Woman Crisis in paperback and e-readers everywhere at online booksellers today.